When we look at our backyard, at first glance it doesn't seem like that pesky weed we're trying to get rid of could actually be a superfood. But back in the past, these plants were just part of everyday meals. Today, in high-end kitchens and modern culinary circles, many of these humble greens are highly prized and very expensive. After this video, you'll no longer see them as just a nuisance, but as something truly useful and nutritious, just like Grandma knew all along. That's why I put together 15 common weeds our grandparents ate that are now considered valuable superfoods. Number 1, dandelion. Dandelions are everywhere, and our grandparents knew them well. The young leaves were picked for salads or lightly cooked as greens, while roots were roasted to make a bitter, earthy tea or coffee substitute. The bright yellow flowers weren't just decorative, they were used to make syrups, jellies, and even wine. Dandelion was one of the first fresh greens to appear in spring gardens, providing vital vitamins and minerals after a long winter. Its slightly bitter taste works surprisingly well in salads or when added to other dishes, bringing a fresh, vibrant flavor that complements many meals. Number 2, Purslane. Purslane is a low-growing, succulent plant that often popped up in cracks between garden beds or sidewalks. Its leaves are juicy, a little tart, and full of small stems, making it a refreshing addition to salads. Our grandparents picked it freely, adding a little extra green to meals when other vegetables weren't yet in season. Purslane is rich in omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin C, though back then, people didn't think about nutrients. They just appreciated the taste and the freshness it brought. It was hardy, abundant, and required no planting, perfect for a garden that aimed to feed the family. Number 3, lamb's quarters. Lamb's quarters, sometimes called wild spinach, is a tall, leafy green that grows easily in many soils. Our grandparents often sautéed it like cultivated spinach or added it to soups and stews. The leaves have a mild, almost neutral flavor, but they pack a punch in vitamins A and C, calcium, and iron. It was one of those plants that quietly filled gaps in the garden, always there, always edible, and easy to prepare. Today, chefs and home cooks alike use it in salads, sautés, and gourmet dishes, appreciating its unique flavor and versatility in modern cuisine. Number 4, chickweed. Chickweed spreads low across the soil, forming a soft green carpet. Its small, tender leaves were picked for fresh salads or added to soups. Beyond the taste, chickweed was valued for its versatility and gentle, soothing qualities. It could be eaten raw or cooked, and it blended well with other greens. Our grandparents appreciated it not just for nutrition, but because it was a reliable, free addition to meals. In the early spring, before most other garden vegetables were ready, chickweed quietly added variety and freshness to the table. Number 5, stinging nettle. Stinging nettle has a reputation for causing a painful sting if touched, but our grandparents knew how to handle it. By blanching or cooking the leaves, the sting disappears, leaving a tender, flavorful green packed with iron, calcium, and vitamins. Nettle soup was often enjoyed in early spring, giving a nutrient boost after winter. Beyond food, nettles were also used in traditional remedies for joint pain and general wellness. Today, stinging nettle leaves are popular in salads and modern dishes, and they're even featured in high-end kitchens for their flavor and nutrition. Number 6, amaranth. Amaranth is a tall, leafy plant that grows almost anywhere. Both the leaves and seeds were edible, providing protein and minerals. Our grandparents didn't call it a superfood, they just knew it was good to eat, especially when other vegetables were scarce. Young leaves were added to soups, stews, or lightly sautéed, while mature seeds could be toasted or ground into a coarse flour. Amaranth quietly supplemented meals and was a dependable green in unpredictable growing conditions. Number 7, shepherd's purse. Shepherd's purse is a small, peppery green that often appears in early spring. It was added to soups or cooked with other greens, providing a subtle flavor and extra nutrition. Its little seed pods were sometimes collected for medicinal uses, but in the kitchen, it was mostly about taste and variety. Easy to identify and abundant, shepherd's purse was one of those hidden gems of the garden that added freshness when other vegetables were not yet ready. Today, it's gaining attention in modern culinary circles, often featured in gourmet salads, spring vegetable mixes, and as a delicate garnish in high-end dishes, valued for its peppery bite and tender texture. Number 8. Plantain. Plantain leaves were a classic remedy and green in the garden. They were used in teas, poultices, and sometimes in salads or cooked dishes. Mild and slightly earthy, plantain was appreciated for its soothing effects on digestion and minor skin irritations. It grew reliably in lawns and paths, making it a handy plant that was always on hand. For our grandparents, plantain wasn't fancy or exotic. It was just a reliable everyday green they added to soups, stews, or simple side dishes. Number 9. Red clover. Red clover was more than a decorative plant in the yard. Its small pink blossoms were collected to make teas, sometimes steeped with other herbs for a gentle flavor. The blossoms could also be added to porridge or bread, providing a soft floral sweetness. Families dried red clover for use in winter, keeping a little piece of spring on hand. Beyond the kitchen, it had mild medicinal uses, often included in traditional remedies for general wellness. Red clover was a familiar friend in the garden, quietly nourishing and versatile, and today it can fetch a high price in gourmet markets. Number 10. Wood sorrel. Wood sorrel is easy to spot with its bright green, heart-shaped leaves and small clusters of flowers. Its tangy, lemon-like flavor made it a favorite addition to salads or spring dishes. Because it contains oxalates, it was always eaten in moderation, but a few leaves added freshness and variety to meals when other vegetables were not yet in season. Children often enjoyed picking the leaves while exploring the garden, making eating playful and connected to nature. It was one of those small, flavorful plants that added a surprising lift to simple dishes. Number 11. Wild garlic or ramps. Ramps are a seasonal delight that grow in damp forests and shaded garden edges. They were eagerly sought in spring, signaling the arrival of fresh greens after a long winter. The leaves and bulbs were used in soups, stews, eggs, and sometimes pickled for storage. Their flavor is garlicky yet delicate, a balance that made them stand out in meals. The plant's seasonal appearance made it special, a rare treat rather than a staple, and today, ramps are still prized for their unique flavor and are highly valued in modern kitchens. Number 12. Mallow. Mallow grew along garden paths, in meadows, and even in untended corners. Its leaves and flowers were mild and versatile, eaten raw in salads, cooked in soups, or brewed into soothing teas. The mucilaginous quality of mallow made it gentle on digestion, and it was often given to children or the elderly for comfort. While not flashy or exotic, mallow quietly supported everyday nutrition. It was dependable, easy to gather, and appreciated for its subtle taste and supposed healing qualities. In many ways, it exemplified the resourcefulness and practicality of past generations. Number 13. Fennel weed. Fennel weed often sprouted along fences, pathways, and garden edges. Its feathery, delicate leaves carry a gentle licorice flavor, which our grandparents added to soups, stews, and fresh spring salads. Sometimes fronds were harvested, dried, and stored for winter teas or as seasoning and preserves. Beyond flavor, fennel weed was considered helpful for digestion and general stomach comfort. For many households, it was a quietly dependable plant that enhanced meals without ever being the centerpiece. In a garden full of vegetables and herbs, fennel weed added a subtle aroma and taste, and today it remains a sought-after herb in both traditional and modern cuisine. Number 14. Yarrow. Yarrow thrives in meadows, along roads, and on garden margins, with its finely divided leaves and clusters of small white or pale pink flowers. Our grandparents knew it as a multi-purpose plant, used in soothing teas, minor wound care, and occasionally in cooking. Its slight bitterness could balance the flavors of stews or broths, turning a simple dish into something more layered. It wasn't flashy, but it was dependable, a humble ingredient that added both flavor and nourishment when needed. Today, yarrow is finding renewed appreciation as a unique culinary herb. Number 15. Curly dock. Curly dock grew tall and unassuming, often in the margins of fields or along fences. Young leaves were tender enough to harvest for spring salads or soups, offering a slightly tangy flavor. Roots could be dried and steeped into teas for their mild medicinal properties. Older leaves were richer in oxalates, so they were cooked to reduce bitterness. Curly Doc's quiet presence supplemented the diet, especially in early spring when garden vegetables were still sparse. For our grandparents, it was just another reliable green, filling in gaps and adding both nutrition and flavor when it was needed most.